There is a force in human nature that nobody speaks about, a magnetic pull that operates in reverse. The moment you need something from someone, the moment you reveal your hunger, you become repulsive. Not gradually, instantly, like a switch has been flipped in their primitive brain. They smell it on you. The desperation, the lack, the void you're trying to fill with their approval, their money, their attention, their love. And in that moment, they pull away. Not because they're evil, but because you've triggered the oldest alarm in the human operating system. You've revealed that you are incomplete, and incomplete things are dangerous to be around. Machiavelli understood this 5 centuries ago when he wrote that men are more ready to repay an injury than a benefit, because a benefit creates debt, and humans despise being in debt. When you need them, you are asking them to fill your void. You are making yourself their responsibility. And responsibility without power is slavery. No one wants a slave. Everyone wants a king who chose them. You have experienced this. You have watched someone pursue you, invest in you, orbit around you when you were indifferent. And the moment you showed interest, the moment you leaned in, they vanished. You called it flaky. You called it cruel. You blamed them for playing games. But you were the one who broke the cardinal rule. You needed. And need is the death of power. Most people believe that connection requires vulnerability, that relationships are built on mutual need. They are wrong. Relationships are built on mutual value. When 2 people need each other, they create a prison. When 2 people choose each other from a position of abundance, they create an empire. But to reach that position of abundance, to stand in the eye of the storm where nothing can move you, you must first understand the invisible force that controls every human interaction. The force that Machiavelli weaponized to conquer kingdoms without armies. It is called detachment, and it is the most misunderstood power in existence. To need nothing from them is not coldness. It is not cruelty. It is not sociopathy. It is sovereignty. When you are complete unto yourself, when your happiness does not depend on their text message, their approval, their employment, their affection, something terrifying happens to them. They lose control over you. And humans are control addicts. We are not comfortable around things we cannot predict, manipulate, or dominate. A person who needs nothing is a black hole of uncertainty. You cannot bribe them. You cannot threaten them. You cannot guilt them. You cannot seduce them with the promise of filling their lack, because they have no lack to fill. This makes them dangerous, but it also makes them irresistible. Think about the last time someone pursued you romantically. The one who texted you every morning. The one who rearranged their schedule for you. The one who made it clear that you were their priority, their focus, their reason for smiling. How did you feel? Flattered? For a moment, yes. But then what? Suffocated. Suspicious. Bored. You started to wonder what was wrong with them. Why do they need me this much? Why don't they have a life? You began to pull away, not because you're heartless, but because their need created a responsibility you didn't ask for. Now think about the one who didn't chase you. The one who responded when they felt like it. The one who had a full life that you were invited into, but not central to. The one who made you feel like you had to earn their time. How did you feel? Obsessed, curious, determined to win them over. You checked your phone every 5 minutes. You analyzed every word they said. You stayed up at night trying to decode their indifference. They consumed your thoughts. Why? Because they needed nothing from you. And what we cannot control, we worship. This is the paradox that destroys most people. They think that showing need will inspire others to help them. They think that revealing their wounds will inspire compassion. They think that demonstrating how much they care will make others care back. This is the logic of a child who still believes the world is fair. The world is not fair. It is Darwinian. When you show your wounds, you do not inspire compassion. You inspire contempt, because wounds signal weakness, and weakness triggers the predator response. When you show how much you need them, you do not inspire them to give. You inspire them to withhold, because scarcity creates value. If you give yourself away freely, you teach them that you are cheap. There is a dark equation that governs all human interaction. The person who cares less controls the relationship. The person who can walk away has all the leverage. The person who needs nothing is the one who receives everything. You can protest this. You can say it's manipulative. You can say it's toxic. You can cry that it shouldn't be this way. But shoulds are the prayers of the impotent. I am not here to tell you what should be. I am here to tell you what is. And what is this. Humans are programmable. We are algorithms in meat. And the algorithm is simple. We assign value to what we cannot easily access. We chase what runs from us. We discard what clings to us. This is why the rich get richer. This is why the beautiful get more love. This is why the powerful get more power. It is not because they deserve it. It is because they signal abundance. And abundance attracts. Scarcity repels. When you walk into a negotiation needing the job, they smell it. Your voice has a tremble. Your laughter comes too quick. You agree too easily. You don't push back. You're grateful for scraps. And what do? They lowball you. They add extra responsibilities. They pay you less. Because you've already shown them that you'll take anything. You've already told them your alternative is worse. But when you walk into that same negotiation with 3 other offers in your pocket, with a life that's already full, with a bank account that can survive their rejection, everything changes. You speak slowly. You question their terms. You're comfortable with silence. You're willing to walk away. And what do? They panic. They sweeten the deal. They match your other offers. They throw in perks you didn't even ask for. Why? Because you needed nothing. And people will move mountains to possess what doesn't need them. Machiavelli observed that a prince must appear to be compassionate, trustworthy, kind, guileless, and pious. But he must be prepared to act the opposite when necessary. The key word is appear. You must master the appearance of openness while maintaining the reality of detachment. You must make them feel chosen without making them feel needed. This is the razor's edge that most people fall from. They confuse detachment with distance. They think that needing nothing means caring about nothing. This is not the way. True detachment is not the absence of desire. It is the mastery of desire. You still want things. You still have preferences. But you have decoupled your emotional state from the outcome. You have built a fortress of self-sufficiency that no external result can breach. You prefer their yes, but you survive their no. This is what makes you lethal. When you need their yes to be okay, you are a slave. When you prefer their yes, but embrace their no, you are a god. Let us go deeper into the mechanism of why neediness is so repulsive. Humans are herd animals. We survived for millions of years by identifying and excluding the weak. Because in a world of predators and scarcity, the weak were liabilities. They consumed resources. They slowed the tribe. They attracted danger. So we evolved a disgust response to weakness. It is not cultural. It is biological. When you display neediness, you are displaying weakness. You are saying, I cannot survive alone. I need external validation to function. I need you to complete me. And every cell in their body screams, this person is a liability. Get away. This is why the needy friend never gets invited. This is why the desperate job applicant never gets hired. This is why the clingy lover gets cheated on or abandoned. It is not personal. It is biological. You have activated their disgust response. And disgust, unlike anger or fear, does not fade with time. It compounds. The more you need them, the more they pull away. The more they pull away, the more you need them. It is a death spiral. And the only way to break it is to stop needing. But how? How do you stop needing when you are in fact desperate? When the rent is due? When you're lonely? When your business is failing? When you're drowning? This is where most people give up. They say, but I do need this. I do need the job. I do need the relationship. I do need the money. And so they show their need. And so they lose. The answer is not to eliminate the need. The need is real. The answer is to eliminate the appearance of need. This is not lying. This is strategy. You build other options. You manufacture alternatives. Even if those alternatives are inferior, they exist. You apply to 10 jobs, not one. You go on dates with multiple people, not just your obsession. You have side income, not just one client. The goal is not to use these alternatives. The goal is to know they exist. Because when you know you have options, your body language changes. Your voice changes. You stop performing. You stop trying to prove yourself. You relax into your power. And people can sense this. They don't know why, but they feel it. You're different. You're calm. You're outcome independent. And that calmness is magnetic. Because calmness signals safety. And humans are drawn to safety like moths to light. There is a technique the ancient Stoics used. It was called negative visualization. They would imagine losing everything they had. Their wealth, their status, their loved ones, their life. Not to be morbid, but to prepare. By regularly imagining the worst outcome, they decoupled their happiness from their circumstances. They realized that even in the worst scenario, they could still find peace. This made them fearless. When you're not afraid of losing, you cannot be controlled. Fear is the handle by which you are steered. Remove the fear, remove the handle. How do you remove the fear? You rehearse the worst case. Imagine they reject you. Then what? You apply elsewhere. Imagine they leave you. Then what? You build a new life. Imagine you lose everything. Then what? You start over. The answer is always the same. You continue. You adapt. You survive. And when you realize that no external outcome can actually destroy you, that the only thing that can destroy you is your own decision to stop trying, you become invincible. This is the secret. Detachment is not about not caring. It is about caring so much about yourself that no one else's opinion can override your self-worth. When you need their approval, you are giving them your remote control. You are saying, you decide if I'm happy today. You decide if I'm worthy. You decide if I should keep going. But when you need nothing from them, you reclaim the remote control. You decide. Every day, regardless of what they do. This is freedom. Now let us examine the social dynamics. Why do people beg those who need nothing? Because humans are wired for reciprocity. When someone does not need us, we unconsciously assume they are high value. High-value people have options. High-value people are in demand. Therefore, if we can win their attention, we must be high-value too. It is association. We want to climb their ladder. We want to borrow their status. This is why everyone wants to be friends with the person who doesn't try to be friends with anyone. This is why everyone wants to work for the boss who doesn't beg for employees. This is why everyone wants to date the person who doesn't seem interested in dating. Scarcity of attention creates value. You must become scarce, not by hiding, but by being genuinely occupied with building your own empire. When your life is so full of purpose, projects, growth, and joy that other people are a bonus rather than a necessity, you become the center of gravity. People orbit around you. They want your time. They want your approval. They want to be part of your world. And the irony is crushing. The moment you stop needing them, they start needing you. This is not magic. This is mathematics. You have shifted the power dynamic. You have become the prize. And everyone is competing for prizes. No one competes for garbage. There is a mistake that good people make. They think that being low maintenance, being easy, being agreeable will make them more lovable. They think that asking for nothing will make them indispensable. They think that being the giver will earn them loyalty. This is the mentality of the servant. And servants are used and discarded. When you ask for nothing, you signal that you are worth nothing. When you accept everything, you teach them that you have no standards. When you're always available, you teach them that your time has no value. Paradoxically, the less you demand, the less you receive. Because humans do not value what comes free. We value what we had to work for. Make them work for you. Not through games. Not through manipulation. But through genuine self-respect. Have standards. Have boundaries. Have a life that doesn't revolve around them. Say no sometimes. Be busy sometimes. Disappear into your work, your hobbies, your mission. Not to punish them, but because you actually have a mission. And watch what happens. They start to wonder. They start to chase. They start to invest. Because you have become rare. And rare is valuable. Machiavelli wrote, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. If they are capable and loyal, he may be judged wise." But how do you attract capable and loyal people? Not by needing them, but by being so formidable that they need you. You must build yourself into a fortress, financially independent, emotionally regulated, physically disciplined, intellectually sharp, spiritually grounded. When you are a fortress, you do not need allies. But allies need you. They need your strength. They need your resources. They need your network. They need your wisdom. And so they come, not because you begged, but because you built. This is the ultimate strategy. Stop trying to get. Start trying to become. Become so valuable that the world has no choice but to pay attention. Become so complete that you need nothing. And in that completeness, everything you ever wanted will come to you. Not because you chased it, but because you became magnetic. There is a final layer to this. A layer that most will not accept. To need nothing from them, you must be willing to lose them. All of them. Your job, your partner, your friends, your reputation. You must be willing to walk away from anything that requires you to compromise your sovereignty. This is not easy. This is not comfortable. This terrifies most people. Because most people have built their identity on external validation. They are who others say they are. They are valuable because others value them. They exist because others acknowledge them. This is a house built on sand. The moment the validation stops, they collapse. But if you build your identity on your own assessment, if you validate yourself, if you exist independent of their acknowledgement, you become unshakable. You can lose everything and still be whole. Because you were never dependent on the things. You were dependent on yourself. And you will never lose yourself. Unless you give yourself away. Which is what you do every time you need them more than you need your own self-respect. Stop giving yourself away. Stop trading your dignity for their crumbs. Stop performing for their approval. Stop shrinking to make them comfortable. Stop needing. Start being. Be so utterly self-contained that your presence becomes a gift, not a burden. Be so fundamentally at peace that people feel peaceful around you. And then watch. Watch them come. Watch them invest. Watch them beg for a place in your life. Not because you played games, but because you played a different game entirely. You stopped playing their game of need and scarcity. You started playing the infinite game of self-mastery and abundance. Machiavelli's final lesson is this. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But I will add to it. It is better to be chosen than needed. Because love can fade. Fear can fade. But choice, true choice from a place of abundance, is renewable. Make them choose you. Every day. Not because they need you, but because they cannot imagine their world without you. And the only way to make them feel that is to genuinely not need them. To build a life so rich, so full, so purposeful that they are the cherry on top, not the foundation. When you reach this state, you have won. Not over them. Over yourself. You have conquered the desperate child inside who thought love was earned through sacrifice. You have killed the beggar who thought value was given by others. You have become sovereign. And sovereignty is the only thing worth having. Because everything else, money, love, success, respect, flows to the sovereign. Not because they chased it, but because they became unchase-able. You now understand the law. But understanding is sedentary. Action is vertical. Most will read this and do nothing. They will return to their habits of need. They will continue to chase. They will continue to lose. Because knowing is not enough. You must embody. You must practice detachment every day. You must build your fortress brick by brick. You must say no when you want to say yes just to please them. You must walk away from tables where you are not valued. You must invest in yourself with the aggression of a conquistador. This is not a weekend project. This is a life mission. But I promise you this. The moment you truly need nothing from them, the moment you are complete without them, they will offer you everything. Not all of them. The weak will stay away. The parasites will flee. Good. You want the strong. You want the sovereigns. You want the people who recognize power and respect it. And those people only respect those who need nothing. Become that person. Not tomorrow. Today. Right now. In this moment. Decide that you will never again beg for what you can build. Decide that you will never again need what you can become. Decide that from this moment forward, you are complete. And watch your world transform. Because when you need nothing from them, they will give you everything. Not out of kindness, but out of fear. Fear that if they don't, you will walk away. And people always fear losing what they cannot control. Become uncontrollable. Become inevitable. Become sovereign. The rest will follow.